I'm very honored. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hot Seat Videocast, and today we will be having former Major League Baseball player Mike Costanzo join us, as this is the first former Major League Baseball player that will be joining the show, so this is a huge honor for me. So, Mike, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Luke. It's an honor for me, too. I appreciate the time.
Of course. I'm happy to do it. Just talk a little bit about I'm just going to, talk a little bit about your playing career and a little bit about you. Obviously, you grew up. You were born in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and you were drafted by the Phillies in 2005, the 65th pick in the second round. And you actually did play for the Cincinnati Reds in 2012. You made your Major League debut on May 13, 2012. So I think the first question I'm going to ask you is obviously this is a really big deal, and obviously MLB players make their Major League debut. They always have a big story they always talk about. So do you mind telling us about your story about how you knew you were going to the big leagues?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was picked up by the Reds in 2010, went to Double-A, and then following year I signed a minor league contract in 2011. And then 2012, I signed a minor league contract with the Reds as well. So that season, I started in Double-A. I was in Double-A for about 12 days. Then I moved up to Triple-A. We're in Louisville. Played for the Bats for about a month. And then May 12th, it was my debut. I actually got called up on the 11th. David Bell was my manager. It's kind of funny. I was drafted by the Phillies in 2005. David Bell was the third baseman. And then he ended up being my manager in 2012 in Louisville in AAA.
And now he's the Reds manager, yeah.
Yeah, now he's the Reds manager. And it's ironic because I got called up because Scott Rowland, who was the Reds third baseman, got hurt. So there was a Philly connection about 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which was pretty cool. But I was in AAA. We had a 6 o'clock game. Around 5:30, he called me in his office. We were very close because I'd been with him for a couple of years, and he just turned around, closed the door, and had tears in his eyes. And I kind of knew at that point that he was going to tell me either really good news or really bad news. But he told me really, really awesome news. He said, "Mike, you're going to the big leagues."
That's
so
awesome.
we hugged awkwardly for about 2 minutes, and shared a pretty cool moment, and sat down. About a minute later, he said, "Well, here's the thing. You got to go drive to Cincinnati, which is about an hour away from Louisville. Go pack your bags, in the clubhouse.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pack your bags at home, and get to Cincinnati." So May 11th, which was a Saturday, I was dressed. I got on the on-deck circle and didn't get up. And then the next day, which was May 12th, pretty special. It was Mother's Day. I had my first at-bat, and I had a sacrifice fly to put us within 1 run. So it was a whirlwind of a couple of days, which is pretty cool. Really cool experience.
Yeah, I'm sure that was really cool. Yeah.
Very, very grateful for the Reds for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you did play in the Arizona Fall Leagues in 2012. Obviously, you were traded to the Houston Astros on November 7, 2007 for Brad Lidge. And obviously, you only spent 34 days with the Houston Astros. And then you were dealt to the Baltimore Orioles from Miguel Tejada.
It was kind of crazy. I was in the Fall League. One day, I had a Phillies uniform. I got traded that night. And the next day I walked in and I had a Houston Astros jersey.
Yeah.
Hanging in my locker. I was pretty bummed, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Being bummed.
So obviously you probably grew up a Phillies fan. Yeah. Since
my whole family. I was the greatest thing ever, getting drafted by the Phillies. I was their first pick in '05, and they had, they'd picked me with their first pick that year. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So you obviously then you went to, as you said before, you signed with the Cincinnati Reds after being released from the Orioles. You went to go sign with the Cincinnati Reds, and then obviously that's when you did eventually make your major league debut 2 years later on May 12th. As I said, first of all, I accidentally said May 13th, I believe. Before I was wrong. Obviously, I just got the dates mixed up. My bad. But do you want to talk a little bit about your first major league hit, which was at Yankee Stadium, and obviously Derek Jeter was able to get that ball in for you, and obviously Derek Jeter is a very, a lot of people really seem to like Derek Jeter, and obviously he's very well liked. So how much of an honor was that? And obviously you got your first hit off of Ivan Nova. So can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so I actually, that was, I think it was my 7th at bat. I had ran into some bad luck. I had hit a ball on Taos Hill in Houston. I got caught 435 foot out. So it was actually a frustrating first week. After my debut, I had a sac fly, and then I finally went into the tank. But that day, I was DHing. It was against Ivan Nova. I struck out twice earlier in the game, so it was my 3rd at bat. It was really cool. My family, about 45 family members were in the stands. And, you can't really pick a better person to grab your first hit. It went from Dwayne Wise in left field. It was a single to left to Derek Jeter, and then threw it to A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, and then they threw it out the dugout. So, very.
That's really, really cool. I'm sure you obviously you're never going to forget that for the rest of your life. And,
side note too, a really cool portion of that. I got on second base, and Jeter came up to me to show you the class act he is. Comes up to me, he said, "Hey, congratulations." And I said, thanks, Derek. I appreciate it. Another 3,000 more, and I'm going to catch you. So he got a big kick out of it.
That's funny.
And no, it was just it's really cool. To get it in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that was obviously at Yankee, against the Yankees. I'm sure that was even more of a thrill since it was against such a historic franchise.
And obviously, family was in there.
Yeah. And then obviously, and again in 2012, you were inducted into the Coastal Carolina University Hall of Fame. Can you talk a little bit about that? Obviously, I know you played there in college.
Yeah, that's really where my pro career started, was at Coastal. I started as a freshman. I got drafted as a junior. The whole school, how the head coach is still there. So he got an opportunity to win the College World Series in 2016, which I was able to attend. But the place is just, it's baseball heaven. It's in Myrtle Beach. The coaching staff is they're still there. I can't say enough words about, it's an honor to be in their Hall of Fame. But they're such a class act down at Coastal. It's a second home to me. Being in the Hall of Fame is awesome. I go down there every off season for Hall of Fame weekend. So see all my old buddies. I have a bunch of old friends down there. It's pretty cool. The place is very special to me. The coach is very special. He's like a father figure down school. He actually inducted me into the Hall of Fame there. So it was it's quite an experience going back there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. And then, later in December, right before the New Year, you signed a minor league deal with the Nationals, and then you ended up getting released, and you go back to the Reds, and then you spend 2014 with the Louisville Bats in the AAA affiliate for the Reds, and then you go back to Camden River Sharks, right? You go there. You had 2 stints there, 2010 and 2014, and that was the end of your baseball career. Is that correct?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
2014 was cut short. I had 2 back surgeries in 14, and then rehab, and then in 15 I ended up having I tore my knee when I was with Camden for a couple months, and then I said to myself, 20 out of 24 months, the last 2 years of my career, I was rehabbing, and it's not physically. I was physically good, but mentally it just took a toll on me, just like anything else. Whatever sport, whatever you do for a living, if you have to do rehab for that living, it takes a mental toll on you. So I decided, and I have a 10-year-old boy. He was 5 at the time, so figured I'd like to have a catch with him at some point.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it was a good time. Baseball owes me nothing. I owe baseball nothing. It was a very, very clean breakup in retirement.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm very happy the way it ended, and I thoroughly enjoy my life.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm glad that obviously you had a pretty nice career, obviously making the big leagues. But just a little bit of some fun facts about you. Obviously, you represented Team Italy in 2009 and 2013 in the World Baseball Classic. Do you want to say something?
That might have been cooler than the big leagues. Represent Team Italy.
Wow.
Because I was representing the country that my family's originally from, and the atmosphere. It's held during spring training. The atmosphere is like you're playing Major League Baseball playoffs in March and April, and it's just a feeling you can't emulate. The guys on the team are lifelong friends now. You have so much in common with the people because of your heritage and ancestry that goes along with being selected to the team. But it was an honor. We did really well in 2013. And when I tell you, Luke, it was quite the experience.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. I mean, that sounds really, really cool, to be able to have that experience. And obviously you're never going to forget that for the rest of your life, obviously. And another fun fact about you is that you graduated from Archbishop Carroll High School in Radnor, Pennsylvania. And do you want to talk a little bit about your playing experience there and your experience at the high school?
Yeah, so I was a 4-year starter there. It was awesome. It got me ready to go to Coastal Carolina. It was a great stepping stone, as high school should be for everybody. But it was such a great experience. I loved the place so much. I went back and coached for a couple of years after I retired, and ended up stepping away. It was just too time consuming. But the place it's state of the art facilities. It's great to be an athlete there, and it's got a great solid Catholic education.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
very happy. I owe a lot to my parents on helping me with decisions, moving so I could get to where I ended up. But they are a huge part of my success. Is breaking down long car rides, figuring out where you want to go to high school is big. Figuring out where you want to go to college. I had a lot of college interests, and my parents are the forefront of why I made it as far as I did.
Yeah. They always talk about any former Major League Baseball player would always, the parents will always make sacrifices. So it is a big deal. Yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah, I just want to ask you before we move on to present day, and I want to ask you a few questions about what you think of the Phillies today. But I just want to talk a little bit about some of the players that you've been able, and some of the people in the industry that you've been able to interact with and meet. Obviously, I know we've already talked a little bit about it, but just for the viewers to hear, you've obviously met and talked to a lot of people that we see on the TV screens who we really admire. One of them being star right fielder for the Phillies, Bryce Harper. Obviously, you did spend some time with the Nationals, briefly, obviously. So I'm sure you have obviously had a chance to meet him, and can you talk a little bit about who he is as a person?
Yeah, he gets a bad rap, but the guy shows up every day, works his butt off every day. He's a great family man. He studies the game. He puts his heart and soul. And baseball is very relentless. You have to go out there every day for months on end. It's hot. It's a game of failure. And the dude comes out just like kind of like a guy like Chase Utley. He works his butt off. He gives 110%. A lot of people think, it's for flair or for this. The guy, he's a baseball machine. He loves baseball.
Yeah.
He loves his teammates. He'll do anything for his team. And the guy just wants to win. He's just a great dude.
Right. Yeah, you love it, man. You love to see it. It's awesome.
I love watching him play.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's awesome, yeah.
He's like built for this city.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and you're so right. Yeah, I know. You're exactly right. I totally agree with you. He's awesome. Obviously another star out west, who's the best player in baseball, Mike Trout. and he's obviously a great guy too. Grew up in Millville. My mom grew up in Millville, so I think that's really cool. So there is a connection there. So do you mind just talking a little bit about your experience meeting Mike Trout before?
Yeah, I really haven't been around him like I've been around other guys, but
Harper.
Very professional, very he's like a baseball machine. He's the best player in baseball. He works his butt off. I tell everybody he's just a normal guy that's just very good at his craft. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, yeah. So you obviously talked a little bit about your probably your favorite moment in your playing career, which was representing Italy in 2009 and 2013. So that's really cool. So I want to ask you a little bit about, now kind of shifting gears here, I want to ask you how you felt about Major League Baseball. How do you think they've handled this COVID-19, Mike?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. They're doing some good things, some things that I don't necessarily agree with. I do think that the NBA and the NHL have really done a really good job of what they're doing. But it's tough. It's baseball. They're trying to cram 60 games in. I did agree with shortening the season. I think it's ridiculous that the players aren't going to get paid what they should get paid. But at the end of the day, they still have to play the games. I don't think fans should be in the stands until this whole COVID-19 thing is kind of not been cured, but there's got to be some sort of movement towards better with it. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad that they're playing, seeing live sports. I kind of like seeing it, how the players' reaction. I can't imagine going out there with no fans because, like I said before, the baseball season is very relentless. It's very long, and 90% of the time, I tell everybody, the crowd is what gets you really your adrenaline and gives you energy every day. So I give a lot of credit to the guys, the players that are going out there, the coaching staff. It's got to be tough. Your whole coaching philosophy kind of has to change the day.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know what guys are going to be there, what guys aren't. Just look at the Marlins, for instance. They had 12 guys. They had to use 12 substitutes. But I think it's good for, that they're playing. Do I think they're going to finish the season? I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah, I agree, man. You just saw today they postponed the Cubs and Cardinals game, so.
Well, they had 13 guys test positive, so. I do not envy the situation they're in, but I know a lot of the guys, the majority of the guys want to play. It's America's pastime, and baseball seems to be the heartbeat of when something goes wrong with the country, or, time of need. Baseball kind of gets it out of it.
I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. Now, there are some new rules, obviously, to the 60-game season, 7-inning doubleheaders and a runner on second base.
I love that.
And extra innings.
Really?
I love the 2 7-inning doubleheaders. That's what they do.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
Keeps the guys fresh.
I agree. I don't know how I feel about the second guy.
The guy on second base in the extra innings, I kind of like too.
Really?
Yeah, I do. It keeps it interesting. You don't want to see position players getting hurt pitching.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just think it kind of changes the rules of the game, but.
Yeah, the game went to the 13th inning, the Astros-Dodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, still, you're not going to see 20-inning games.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I like it. I do. It keeps it very entertaining. There's a guy in scoring position. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it goes to your point. They want to speed up the game, yeah.
Spices up baseball a little.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. And do you want to talk a little bit about how much the game has changed since you stopped playing? Or obviously, there is a change in commissioners, obviously. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I just, I don't think the position player aspect has changed. I think the pitch count and stuff like that since I left the game has changed. it's you're not one record that's probably never going to be broken is Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak. So I think he can rest easy on that one.
But exactly. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
The only thing that's changed is really like the analytics part of it, which I don't really get involved in. I don't really see the game from that aspect. The feel for the game, the feel for in the dugout. There still has to be that aspect, whether it's a computer telling you, but your gut's telling you something else. I'd rather go with my gut feeling, especially with some of these managers like Girardi's been in baseball for how many years now? I mean, I can't get rid of that aspect of it.
Yeah, he's been a manager since 08, I believe. He's been a manager, or 06. 06, yeah. So he's been a manager since 06. Doesn't even include the time he even played as a catcher.
And he played, right? So that's 14,
yeah,
and he plays 15 years. So that's 30 years. Almost 30 years of experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of experience. So just to wrap it up here, I just want to ask your opinion on the Phillies. Obviously, 3-4 so far this season, split the series with the Yankees. What do you think about the Phils this year?
It always comes back to pitching. I think if they can figure out something to do with the bullpen. I know, Wheeler, Nolan, Arrieta, they can figure it out. I think they have a good shot. Especially with here's the thing, Luke. Everybody's got a shot with a shortened season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe the hottest.
Yeah, Marlins are 6-1. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, what are they? 4-1, 3-1.
6-1 now. Yeah, 6-1.
6-1.
Yeah.
With reserves, so.
Yeah, right. I know, it's crazy.
The hungriest team and the team that doesn't let all this nonsense, get to them is going to be the winner.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I definitely agree. So, do you want to chat a little bit? To finally end this, do you want to talk a little bit about Rhys Hoskins, because he's a guy I've talked a lot about why do you think he might be struggling, and it's just I think a lot of it is I think he's just he's kind of like stuck in this rut where he can't really get it going. I think he's being a little bit overly patient, and he's just not been able to have a lot of success. Getting extra base hits and driving in runs, and he's been like a two. He's been like a two-hole hitter. He's just been drawing a lot of walks, which is great. His on base percentage is high, but he has potential.
Rhys Hoskins isn't meant to be on base. He's meant to hit the ball in the stand. So, I mean, listen, anybody in that situation, it's a very mental game. I could tell that he's thinking about a lot of things and maybe guessing, but from the standpoint, he will be fine. He just needs to get out of the second guessing himself, because he's a hell of a hitter and hell of a baseball player. I think he's going to be very successful once he, gets past the, not taking it back into one another.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and he just needs to start playing. Saying, like, as you said, it's a big mental game, and obviously since you played.
I think the no fans and stuff like that for a guy like him is going to help him get out of it quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
If he starts hitting a couple out,
he'll start to get in the groove. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, you saw that.
He's very streaky. So.
Very, very streaky. Yeah. Yeah, same with Bryce, too. He's pretty streaky as well. Not as bad, though. But he's pretty streaky. But, yeah, Mike, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate
you're awesome, man.
Come on here, man. Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I even forgot to – I think I might have even forgot to mention this. You played third base in your career. I forgot to even mention that. I don't know why. So I apologize about that. But, yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. 7:05, the first pitch tonight versus the Atlanta Braves as Vince Velasquez takes the mound. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please check out the social media link in the description section. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshosif@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I was joined by Mike Costanzo, and once again, Mike, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Of course. All right, guys. Thank you.